This story comes from Patrick, who now lives in Darjeeling. It's from a time in his life when he was just 14 years old and attending Victoria Boys' School. It was January 1979. Patrick had just turned 14. His father's transfer took the family to Siliguri, and it was decided that Patrick would stay in a boarding school for the semester. He was admitted to Victoria Boys' School in Kurseong. The school was established by the British in 1879, and even today it stands as a beautiful building, white walls with a red roof, towering architecture that seems to reach for the sky. Pine trees surround the campus, their leaves like green clouds floating in the wind. The school's main ground is built on a hillside, and when the morning sun hits it, the whole campus glows like gold. To Patrick, it felt like the best chapter of his life was about to begin. His dormitory was a long, narrow room in the old block. It had wooden doors and a covered corridor that connected to the classroom building. During the day, it was nothing special, just a long stretch of space with a constant breeze. But at night, something felt different. A strange hesitation crept in. Not exactly fear, but an odd feeling Patrick couldn't explain. For the first 3 nights, everything was normal. Patrick befriended his roommate Ajay, and they'd stay up late reading comics by flashlight, classic boarding school fun. But on the fourth night, everything changed. Around 2 a.m., Patrick woke suddenly to a sound coming from outside the dormitory. A thin, white noise cut through the crystal clear silence. Along with it came the sound of heavy leather shoes, the kind teachers wore in the old days. The sound grew louder step by step. Patrick sat up, his heart pounding. He looked toward the door. The corridor stretched 80 meters long, lined with yellow lights. And there, in the distance, he sensed a shadow. The footsteps came closer and closer until they stopped right outside his door. For a few seconds, there was nothing but silence. Then, slowly, the sound began to fade away. Patrick didn't sleep that night. He couldn't stop thinking about who or what could have been there. In the morning, he told his classmates. But instead of concern, they laughed. "It's just the wind," they said. In the mountains, the wind plays tricks on your mind. Patrick fell silent, questioning himself. Maybe they were right. Maybe he had imagined it. During lunch, he sat alone in a corner of the ground. An older boy named Vimal approached him. He was a tall Nepali boy with a serious face and eyes that held a strange understanding. He'd heard what Patrick said in class. Patrick told him everything, the leather shoes, the footsteps stopping at his door. Vimal listened carefully, then asked, "Did you open the door?" Patrick shook his head. "No, I was too scared." Vimal nodded. "Good. You did well." Then Vimal told him something that would haunt him forever. The school was old, built in the 1800s. The headmaster back then was Mr. Whitemore, a strict man who loved the children deeply. Every night, he would walk the corridors, making sure everyone was safe. In 1963, he died of a heart attack while making his rounds in that very same corridor. Vimal's uncle had studied here and passed down the story. Then Vimal gave Patrick a warning. No matter what you hear, no matter who calls you, never open that door after 2 a.m. That night, Patrick couldn't sleep. Fear kept him awake, but so did curiosity. What was out there? Was any of it real? At 1:45 a.m., he made a decision. He would just look. Just a quick glance. He gently opened the door. The corridor was empty, lit by the same flickering yellow lights. Complete silence. He breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe it really was just the wind. But then the lights began to flicker, and he heard it again. The sound of leather shoes. Coming closer. Much closer this time. Patrick's heart hammered in his chest. The footsteps stopped right in front of him. He looked down and saw them, black leather shoes, highly polished, shining under the flickering light. Then he saw the shadow of a man. He held an old register in his hand. His eyes were bright, but empty, like glass. No life in them. The shadow looked at Patrick and smiled. A strange, forced smile. Then it reached for the door. Patrick tried to slam it shut, but something pushed back. Some invisible force kept it open. He threw his weight against it, but it wouldn't budge. In panic, he ran to the bathroom, the only place he could reach in time. He locked the door and pressed himself against the wall. Through the keyhole, he saw the man's face. It was pale, dry like an old photograph. Then the man spoke. His voice was hollow, broken by long pauses. Attendance time. Walk to class. Then he started trying to open the bathroom door. The knocking grew louder. Patrick! We're late for class. Over and over. The last thing Patrick remembered was his vision going dark. Morning came with the 5:30 a.m. bell. Patrick woke up on the bathroom floor. His whole body ached. The bathroom door was open. The room was empty. He stumbled to his bed and found something lying there, a torn page from an old register. Written in blue ink, still wet, were the words, Patrick, absent. When he touched it, the ink stained his fingers. On the floor, wet footprints led from the bathroom out into the corridor. Patrick fell seriously ill that day. He never returned to that school. Decades have passed. Childhood is over. Youth is gone. Now he's in old age. Doctors said it could have been a fever-induced hallucination. But Patrick still has that page. He keeps it in his drawer. He's never been sure if it was a dream or reality. Because a person with a fever can hallucinate, but a hallucination doesn't leave a page from an old register on your bed. A hallucination doesn't stain your fingers with ink that's still wet. To this day, when he closes his eyes, he sees that corridor. And he still wonders, was it real? Or did something from beyond simply want him to remember?